Seguimoto de Cuenca presenta Producciones de Poder a Poder.
Good morning, everyone. General Ricardo Trevilla Trejo, Secretary of National Defense. Admiral Raimundo Pedro Morales Angeles, Secretary of the Navy, representatives of the legislative branch, the judicial branch. All Mexicans, today we are called together by history, the living memory of our people, who have never stopped fighting for their freedom, justice, and dignity. In this place, the political center of the nation, we remember that more than 2 centuries ago, in the early morning hours of September 16, 1810, the priest Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla ignited hope and gave voice to the collective yearning for independence. That cry of sorrows was not just a call to freedom from the Spanish colony. It was a call for justice and for the heart and courage of a people determined to be masters of their own destiny. The thinking of Hidalgo and the independence fighters who accompanied him broke with the established order. Not only did he proclaim independence, but on November 29, 1810, in Guadalajara, he decreed the abolition of slavery. For this reason, he was a revolutionary who was the object of grievances and contempt by the colonial power. In the excommunion trial, they described him as a demagogue, unnatural, and frenetic, trying to delegitimize his cause. However, Hidalgo stood firm in the defense of his ideals, assuring that he acted guided by his conscience. In his words to his accusers, he said, "Open your eyes, Americans, do not be fooled by our enemies. They are politicians who worship money. Their threats seek only oppression." In the end, they condemned him to a brutal punishment. They beheaded him and placed his head along with those of Allende, Aldama, and Jimenez on each corner of the Granaditas Landiga building. They believed that this would extinguish his cause. However, what they achieved was the opposite. They made him eternal, immortal in the memory of Mexicans. The history of our independence is woven with the greatness of men and women who knew how to transform adversity into strength and oppression into freedom. Hidalgo was the beginning, but by his side other libertarian spirits rose up and shaped the nation that we are today. Let's remember José María Morelos y Pavón, who picked up the torch lit by Hidalgo and turned it into a national program. In his sentiments for the nation, Morelos bequeathed us principles that continue to guide us. Sovereignty emanates from the people. Justice must be equal for all. And Mexico must be a land free of inequalities and privileges. With Morelos, we learned that independence is not just about breaking chains. It is also about building a more just and sovereign country. And alongside them, the women who gave everything for their country. Josefa Ortiz Tiziguren, whose defiant and courageous voice announced that it was time to fight, and she did so throughout her life. Manuela Molina Medina, an indigenous woman who fought alongside Morelos, received the military rank of captain, an appointment that was issued by the Supreme Junta of Sidicaro, Michoacán. Leona Vicario, who with intelligence and generosity supported the insurgent cause, demonstrating that independence was also forged in letters. Strategy and defense. Gertrudis Bocanegra, an intelligent woman who gave her life with determination, was discovered by the royalists and sentenced to death, shot in the Plaza de Pascuaro because she did not want to give information about the forces insurgents to the vice-regal government. Vicente Guerrero, son of the South and indomitable heart of the homeland. It was he who showed us that true patriotism does not allow concessions, that freedom is not negotiable, and that sovereignty is not for sale. With his clear voice he taught us that the homeland comes first, and that phrase continues to be the moral compass of the people of Mexico. Today, when we recall these immortal figures, we understand that independence was not only the work of its brave leaders, but the sum of anonymous heroes and heroines of an entire people who rose up against injustice. It was the union of peasants, artisans, indigenous people, mestizos, criollos, women and men who knew that dignity is worth even more than life. That feat has marked the history of independent Mexico to this day. Mexicans, the independence, freedom and sovereignty of Mexico means that no foreign power decides for us, but also that every daughter and son of this land has the right to live with dignity, with justice and with freedom. Sovereignty is the right to be ourselves, to speak with our own voice, to build our future with our own minds. And sovereignty is established in our Constitution. It resides essentially and originally in the people. That is true democracy. All public power emanates from the people and is instituted for their benefit, and the people have at all times the inalienable right to alter or modify their form of government. this year 2025, so that there would be no doubt about the defense of our sovereignty against any desire for foreign interference, I propose to the constituent in addition to Article 40 of our Magna Carta, which was approved and was set out in the following way. The people of Mexico will under no circumstances accept interventions, interferences or any other act from abroad that is harmful to its integrity, independence and sovereignty of the nation, such as coups d'état, interference in elections or the violation of Mexican territory, whether by land, water, sea or airspace. Although Mexico achieved its independence in 1821 and again in 1867, after the French invasion, we must never forget that our independence, freedom and sovereignty are defended every day. They defend the classrooms where we are educated. Our girls and boys with humanistic values and love for the country. The countryside is defended where peasants feed the nation with their efforts. It is defended in factories, in cities, in the countryside, with young people, in indigenous communities, at sea and on borders. Each generation of Mexicans has known how to face their struggle. Our ancestors did it with rifles and machetes. Today is our turn to do it peacefully, moving forward in the transformation that honors the best of our history, the struggle of our heroes and heroines, because it seeks the same thing they do: freedom, sovereignty, democracy, justice and equality. Transformation means putting the people at the center, governing with honesty and opening the paths to well-being and development for all, but for the good of all, the poor first. Independence gave us a homeland. Transformation ensures our future. Today Mexico is moving forward towards a stronger democracy, towards a fairer country. This year will also be marked in history for the election to the judiciary that gave the people the task of being a system impartial, independent, close to the citizenry, where justice is the same for all, without privileges or exceptions. Mexicans, we must not forget that throughout our history some, as now, have sought support from foreign powers to slander Mexico and request interference. This happened with the conservatives who brought Maximilian and with the traitors who promoted the coup d'état with Huerta. But it has always been the people of Mexico who have defended the homeland, who have resisted and who have demonstrated their greatness. Today, with great fortitude, it is clear that our people know their strength and their history. And for this reason, no interference is possible in our homeland. Nothing stops a nation when its people support it and defend it with pride. And when there is a government that does not distance itself from its people, from justice, from democracy, where sovereignty resides in the people and not in privilege. Mexicans, let us not forget that Mexico will always be a symbol of peace and global brotherhood, committed to cooperation and respect. Mutual support and the indisputable defense of the self-determination of peoples. We are guided by the wise and beautiful phrase of Benito Juarez: respect for the rights of others is peace, reminding us that our strength as a nation also lies in justice. Mexicans, let us follow the example of Hidalgo. Morelos, Jose Ortiz, Leona Vicario, Gertrudis Bocanegra, Manuela Molina, Vicente Guerrero, and all the heroes and heroines who bequeathed us love for the people, our history and our homeland. We will never forget that independence and justice are not only inherited, they must be defended every day. May this day of pride remind us that Mexico is strong because its people are strong, that Mexico is free because its people do not bend, and that Mexico will always be sovereign, as long as each one of us continues to carry in our hearts the immortal words of Guerrero. The homeland comes first. Long live the dignity of the people of Mexico. Long live Mexico. Beloved Mexico. Long live Mexico.